Rishi Sunak is as good as through to the last round of voting for the Conservative Party leader and therefore Prime Minister. Sunak led the first round with 88 votes and topped that to 101 in the second round. It's finally all pointing to a runoff between Sunak and either Penny Mordaunt or Liz Truss. A long way to have come for an outsider into the world of conservative politics in Britain.
The seeds were planted when I was much younger, actually. My dad's a family doctor. My mum ran the local pharmacy where I grew up. And I grew up watching them day in, day out make a difference to our community. And I worked in my mum's chemist and I delivered medicines. And I'd always remember what people would say about my parents to me and the difference they made to their lives. And I thought one day, if I could do the same thing, you know, making a difference to a community the way my parents did, then I'd be happy.
Rishi Sunak has projected himself in a promo on social media as the insider born to those once outsiders. For them, Britain became a land of opportunity to which they contributed with substantial success. But a pharmacy business and a career as GP are successes of the regular kind. Rishi Sunak is aiming higher than imaginable earlier.
That aim was high enough already when he was elected MP. From MP now to PM, as high as it gets. And Rishi Sunak has created the vacancy that he is now applying for. It is his resignation that brought down Boris Johnson and his government. Boris Johnson, unsurprisingly, is campaigning against Sunak through his proxy, Liz Truss. But Sunak is still being careful in what he says about Boris Johnson.
Boris Johnson is one of the most remarkable people I've ever met. And whatever some commentators may say, he has a good heart. Was it no longer working? Yes, and that's why I resigned. But let me be clear. I will have no part in a rewriting of history that seeks to demonize Boris, exaggerate his faults, or deny his efforts.
In the face of unexpectedly strong opposition from Penny Mordaunt and increasingly from Liz Truss, Sunak is confident he's on his way to the absolute top.
Since I declared a few short days ago, the response has been, well, overwhelming, beyond my imagination.
And he is confident that he has the best plan for the country.
I have a plan to steer our economy through these headwinds. It is not credible to promise lots more spending and lower taxes. Once we've gripped inflation, I will get the tax burden down. It is a question of when, not if.
In the face of criticism that he's too elitist to understand the pain and the pangs that inflation has brought, Sunak says his wealth does not mean he cannot understand the lack of it. He says his financial career should be a qualification rather than otherwise.
I'm one of these people who thinks, I think Parliament benefits from members who have had experience outside of politics. You know, whether that's in teaching, law, or in my case in business and finance. I think if you can bring that experience from another career into the Houses of Parliament, and that will help you be a better politician, help you make good policy.
Plans and policies come first, of course, but someone may look at this whole show and say, the emperor is naked. Sunak is a very Indian-looking British citizen. He's an emphatic Hindu. He wears the moli. He lights lamps in front of his house at Diwali for the cameras to see. His wife is an Indian citizen. All okay for the post of Prime Minister of Britain? Sunak was emphatic earlier that these things should not matter, and he's determined now that they must not.
And I think, you know, you made the point about minority. You know, it doesn't matter what you look like, where you're from, what your background is. I think it matters what your values are and what you're going to do for people. And I think if you can show them that your values are similar and you're going to work hard for them, I'm very comfortable in my skin, if that's what you mean. And, you know, I think people, as I said, they're not focused on that. You know, they're focused on, you know, what do you believe in? What do you stand for?
Standing for your beliefs is one thing. Standing for Prime Minister is another. Sunak's principal opponent is likely to be Penny Mordaunt, a conservative of the more familiar kind from the true blue Tory heartland, where blue really means white. But that Sunak is in the race, that he is leading the race to be Prime Minister and in with a real chance, is already something of a miracle. In London, this is Sanjay Suri.